Hi, I'm Dr. Elliot Adam, and welcome to my tarot channel. It is time for this month's Tarotscope for February 2024. I'm going to go through all the astrological signs, starting with Aries and ending with Pisces, and I'm going to pull two cards for each sign and give you a little bit of food for thought for the coming month. There are these convenient little timestamps at the bottom of your screen, of which you can quickly go to your relevant message, but I would encourage you, if you want an even more accurate reading, to listen to the message for your astrological moon sign and rising sign as well. And so, without further ado, let's go into the Tarotscopes for February 2024. First, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Aries. So if you're an Aries or have a lot of Aries in your chart, this first card is going to be where it's best for you to place your focus for February. And the card we get here is the Eight of Swords. And this card at first might not look very welcome. We see this damsel in distress. She's tied up with the ropes. She's feeling abandoned or lost. And she's hoping and wishing and waiting for the dashing hero to come in and swoop in and save her, but nobody's coming. The Eight of Swords can represent toxic passivity, where you're kind of waiting for something to get better. You're waiting to see an improvement, but nothing's coming yet. And yet, even though this woman's predicament looks so hopeless, look at, she's standing there tied up with the ropes, but she's inches away from these very sharp swords. If she had a little bit of fight in her, she could cut the ropes that are binding her and run for safety. And so the message of this card is not to wait for a hero. You're the hero that you need, Aries. And this next month, it's time to get things moving. Eight of Swords can say to take matters into your own hands. And finally, swords in the tarot, they are a symbol for that element of air, which has all to do with our thoughts, our thinking. So these are symbols here. The Eight of Swords can represent a symbol of thinking that's keeping you bound up, scared, or stuck. And it might be a time to defy those thoughts. Those very thoughts or swords that are making you feel trapped can also be repurposed as the tools of your liberation. And so it's so important that you're really acknowledging whatever is keeping you scared or stuck and focus on unhooking yourself from that thing. The next card for Aries is going to be advice from your inner wisdom this next month. And we get another eight, the Eight of Pentacles. Now, in numerology, a lot of times eights are considered the number of material security. And so this can kind of zero in on where is the issue? What might you need to be liberating yourself from? Eight of Pentacles is the quintessential work card in the tarot. And it can absolutely represent your job or something that you're just kind of in that daily grind with. And with that Eight of Swords, it might be something that you're needing to take matters into your own hands with. But again, we don't want to get too bogged down with literalism when we're talking about symbolism. That Eight of Pentacles card does show the craftsman hammering away with his chisel in his workshop. But what this can also represent, aside from just a day job, is consistency. And it almost feels for you, Aries, that the thing that you're trying to unhook yourself from needs to be approached with consistency. You just need to every day do something toward that goal to make this manifest. Eights, if you turn them on their sides, are also symbols for the infinity symbol. And so there can be this sense of like something that's perpetual, something that you've been repeating over and over again. Now it's time to actually put doable, practical steps in your daily life that are going to help you achieve what you're looking to do. And I really feel with both of these eights this next month that it's going to be so important that you're unhooking yourself from a sense of powerlessness with what's going on, and instead you get to work on improving conditions. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Taurus. So if you're a Taurus or have a lot of Taurus in your chart, whoa, there's your first card. It fell on the ground. This first card is going to be where it's best for you to place your focus this next month of February. And the card we get here is the Five of Wands. And the Five of Wands we can see here, it shows five adolescents. They're all battling it out with each other. They're all trying to prove themselves. And so that Five of Wands is often associated with a struggle or a conflict or a challenge. It can sometimes also represent that you're dealing with challenging individuals in your periphery right now. The adolescence on the card can represent some immature actions that might be taking place around you this next month. And it's so important that you're not just getting in the fray with everybody else or meeting people in their triggered conflict zone on their level. The Five of Wands really encourages you to rise above, or to be the adult in the room, or to really access your maturity this next month to handle the challenge in front of you instead of getting frustrated or afraid. Also, the Five of Wands can represent competition or that dreaded comparison game where you're really kind of getting down on yourself because you're saying, well, so-and-so has this and they're doing that, and what do I have? What am I doing? It's apples and oranges when the Five of Wands comes up. And there is a saying by Judy Garland, my favorite entertainer, and she always says, always be a first-rate version of yourself instead of a second-rate version of somebody else. And so Five of Wands this next month might be a time for you to step into your own excellence and not be so worried about what others are doing, because the cream always rises to the top. Next, we have advice from your inner wisdom if you're a Taurus for this next month of February. And we get the Two of Wands. So 2 Wands cards coming up in a tarot reading in a row. What that can represent is that element of fire. It's also a card of ambition, the Two of Wands, as we see a lord of a manor. He's got everything he could possibly want. He's got a castle and a view, and yet he's not 100% satisfied with that. He wants the world. He's holding the globe in his hands. He's yearning for more. The Two of Wands is a card of ambition. And wands in the tarot, those fiery cards, if you look at them, they're tree branches. They got these little leaves springing out of the top of them. And what that can represent is growth. And so for you, Taurus, it's time to grow. It might be time to grow out of an old environment or an old mindset that's making you feel like you have to compete. And instead, it's time to go for the bigger dream, the bigger idea. Two of Wands can sometimes have an insatiable quality to it as a warning. And what I mean by that is we got the Lord of the Manor and he's still not satisfied. And so sometimes this card will tell you to stop and acknowledge where you are right now with what you have and honor that. Really appreciate the person you are in this moment. We're all on this road to trying to become better and more improved versions of ourselves. But Two of Wands can sometimes be this yearning, like, if I finally get that thing, I'm going to be happy. If I lose that 5 pounds, I'll finally be happy. If I get that job that's perfect, I'll be happy. If it's the relationship I'm looking for that comes in, then I'll finally be happy. This card is really saying it might be important for you to acknowledge the gifts and blessings that you have right now, while also acknowledging that there is still some room for growth. I just feel with both of these cards, they're a little bit competitive. They're very ambitious. And this might be a time when you really do go toward your ambition, Taurus, but that you're also moderating that with some wisdom and perspective. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Gemini. So if you're a Gemini or have a lot of Gemini in your chart, this first card is going to be where it's best for you to place your focus for February 2024. The first card we get here is Lady Justice. And I just love this card. We can see justice here. She's not blindfolded like at the courthouse. This isn't blind justice. She's looking straight at you. She can see right through you. And she's seated between 2 gray pillars, and gray is the color of neutrality. This can represent a time where you're really observing all the facts. You might also need to trust what you see right in front of your nose and not try to make an excuse for something, but really be honest with yourself. Lady Justice is able to be honest because she's honest in herself first. And by doing that, she can then be honest with others. She can then see what's really going on with them. The gray, the color of neutrality, could indicate that right now it's time to take a step back and be neutral. Look at your life as if you're an outside viewer, as if you're somebody who's a friend, who's kind of just trying to help you out or look at what to do. And this card can just say that it's time to get that perspective. It's also time to be truthful and honest with yourself whenever justice comes up. So what do you really desire? What do you really want to do? What's your inner self really telling you to go for? The justice card will always get you back in touch with what that inner truth is really desiring. And also, Lady Justice holds the scales and the sword. The scales symbolize balance, and it just indicates that balance is going to come for you when you tell the truth to yourself, when you're honest with yourself, and also honest with others. And, you know, Lady Justice, she's not aggressive. She's not like Judge Judy. She doesn't yell at the people in her courtroom. She's neutral. She's a little bit more balanced. She's just matter of fact saying, these are the facts. This is what this is really is. This is what this really is about. And so for this card, it could just indicate that you're needing to be neutral and kind of level with how you're communicating with others. Next card is going to be advice from your inner wisdom if you're a Gemini for this month of February. And we get another very judicious character with the King of Swords. Both of these cards are associated with the law or structure. So yeah, they could absolutely represent a legal thing that you're needing to look at, or you might need to get things in writing, or you might need to be really organized in your thinking and get the proper documents on your side whenever these two cards come next to one another. But that sword of authority in both cards, the sword cuts through the BS. It really is direct, and it really is only concerned with the facts. And so for you, Gemini, I'm almost feeling like this is going to be a time where you're going to regain your power by just observing and embracing the facts. What's really going on here? The King of Swords can sometimes be a little unbending, a little rigid with his viewpoints, but he can change his mind, and he changes his mind through evidence. So if it looks like a duck and walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck with these two cards. You don't need to bend yourself into pretzels to come up with this idyllic other alternate version of reality to make you feel better at the moment. But knowing that it is a duck, these two cards can say that you know what to do with the information in front of you if you're level and if you're calm. A calm mind is a powerful mind. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Cancer. So if you're a Cancer or have a lot of Cancer in your chart, this first card is going to be where it's best for you to place your focus for this February 2024. The card we got here is the Page of Swords. And we can see the Page of Swords here. He's kind of got the sword upraised as if he's ready for an attack. He's tense and he's just anticipating trouble. And yet this card can represent a tension that's really keeping you separate from your actual feelings and also from the resolution that you're seeking. Page of Swords can sometimes be deflective. He's the sort of person who says, la, 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 I don't have the problem. You have the problem. I'm always right. You're crazy. I'm doing everything correctly. And so if that isn't you, sometimes that Page of Swords can represent people in your periphery right now who act like that. They might not be all the way accountable. They might even be a little immature, or they might be deflective because they're actually really afraid of something hurting them. And so they're acting in a way that's pushing back a bit more. Page of Swords is telling you this next month to lower your unnecessary defenses. You might not want to assume as well that what is being presented to you is a threat to you or an attack or something that is personal. So the Page of Swords can really tell you that if your first knee-jerk reaction is to defend yourself and get yourself safe and protected from what you're confronting, that might be a huge red flag, that the thing that you're resistant to hearing the most is actually blocking you from your breakthrough. So Page of Swords is super intelligent. He's super good at rationalizing things away. It might be a time where you really have to watch out for just rationalizing something that you're seeing away. But I feel like if you're honest and if you're open and if you're even more vulnerable, the thing that you're afraid of hurting you isn't going to have any power over you at all. The advice from your inner wisdom, if you're a Cancer, is the lovely Empress card. And how appropriate for the sign of Cancer. Cancer is the nurturing sign. It has to do with that very maternal energy with the moon. And the Empress is the mother of the tarot. And you'll see that little heart-shaped shield emblazoned with the symbol of Venus at her feet. And this is a symbol for love. And I just kind of feel, Cancer, that when you let love choose your moves this next month, things work out as if by magic. The Empress wears the crown of 12 stars. She can see things in their proper perspective. There's nothing tense about the Empress. There's nothing defensive or deflective. She's completely relaxed in her garden. And what she uses as her shield is love. And so I just kind of feel like that's the message this month. It's like, don't thwart or push away that chance for reconciliation or calm or inner peace or hope. The Empress can say that it's really time to make those connections. And also the Empress can sometimes represent nurturing. And when we put that maternal figure of the Empress next to the Page of Swords, if you have children, this could be a time when you are a parent who's more understanding and is really maybe looking at some of the deflective behaviors of the younger people around you. And you're just having the wisdom to know, I'm not going to engage in that. I'm actually able to see what's really going on here. And just be love. Just offer that open door. And I think that's going to really help alleviate whatever's causing tension. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Leo. So if you're a Leo or have a lot of Leo in your chart, this first card is going to be where it's best for you to place your focus for February 2024. The first card we get for Leo is the Nine of Cups. And we see this jolly guy who's in front of this table, and it's set with 9 golden cups all in a row. And the 9 golden cups are displayed almost like trophies. So sometimes the 9 of cups can represent that you've accumulated a lot, that you've made your preparations, and that a lot of the rewards that you might be experiencing in the near future are coming as a result of you setting the table for your own success. The 9 of Cups can also be a card of wishes granted. So really setting your focus on your intentions and really kind of willing things into being by taking the appropriate actions. Again, setting that table for your wish, getting things prepared for it. But also the 9 of Cups is long associated with pleasure. And this card can really indicate that this is going to be a time to really allow yourself to enjoy your life, enjoy what's coming up in it. 9 of Cups can sometimes be a card of overindulgence, especially when it's reversed. It's not reversed here, but this card can say, sometimes even a good thing, too much of that thing can be a bane. It can be something that kind of weighs you down. So sometimes this card will ask you to be moderate, but I still feel with this 9 of Cups card that there is something really important for you to enjoy, and you want to enjoy the banquet that's spread before you right now. I love this saying from Rosalind Russell from Auntie Mame. She says, life's a banquet and most poor suckers are starving to death. And so what you really want to do this next month, Leo, is savor life, enjoy it, taste it, live it, and enjoy what you've worked for, but nothing too much. Next, we're going to go into the advice from your inner wisdom if you're a Leo. And then we got another Cups card with the 2 of Cups. Now, cups in the tarot, they have to do with our feelings and our emotions. And so 2 cups cards next to each other can really represent that this is going to be a time where you're living in your feelings a little bit more. And yet both of these cups cards are a little bit more upbeat. In the case of the 2 of Cups, this is a card of relationships, connections, but it's also a card of compromise. And it can really tell you that as far as this next month is concerned, that harmony is going to be most achieved for you, Leo, when you are compromising with others, when you can bend a little bit. 2 of Cups is also a relationship card. It can say that it's time to open your heart and share with others. And a lot of people think the 2 of Cups is just a lovey-dovey relationship card. It can represent relationships of many different stripes. So this could be a time where you're coming to consensus with others. It could also be a time of collaboration and communication. You can see that wand of Mercury, the messenger god, is in between the couple on the card. And this can really represent that communication is so important this next month because we also see that Leo lion head above that wand of Mercury. And the lion in this case can sometimes represent ego. And so I really feel with the 2 of Cups, this is going to be a time where you're really mindful of how you're communicating and you're really mindful of other people's egos. You're really allowing everybody to leave the table with their dignity intact. And I feel like if you're respectful and if you're kind of coming from this place of compassion with that 2 of Cups and also a desire to cooperate, I really feel like love is going to win the day. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Virgo. So if you're a Virgo or have a lot of Virgo in your chart, this first card is going to be where it's best for you to place your focus for February. The first card we get here is the Devil card. And the devil, before you freak out, everybody's got an angel on their shoulder and everyone's got a devil on their shoulder. I always say this. Everybody's got that voice of like light and love and positivity and everything's possible. And everyone's also got that other voice, which is like, you can't do that. Why even try? We're just in hell. We might as well just stay stuck with it. Nobody cares. And yet that just keeps you scared and stuck in that mental prison for way too long. On the devil card, we can see two people who are chained to his throne, and the chains that they're wearing are rather loose. And what this represents is that the devil, if anything, is the father of lies. He tells you an untruth, that you're trapped, you're stuck with your lot, you can't really be free. And yet you can choose to be free by slipping out of those chains whenever you change your perspective. For my money, the devil card often comes up in a reading for a person when they're just about to make a huge breakthrough. It's like they've been working so hard, they've been so focused on it, they've been doing really great, and they get to that last step. And it's like, okay, it's time to cross that finish line. And that's always when that voice pipes into their ear. And it says, are you sure you're going to want to do that? What if you fail? What if everything looks stupid? What will people say about you? What if? And it just keeps you back in this stuck energy. Whenever the devil card comes up, he really asks you to face your inner saboteur and to take the action towards your best life and to have courage, even with this obstacle in front of you. Sometimes that devil card can really represent not an enemy that's outside of you that you have to watch out for, but the enemy that comes from within your own attitudes, your own history. So I feel, Virgo, that it would really be a beneficial thing for you this next month to do some shadow work, to write out what your fears are, to confront those fears, and then to do it anyway, and not be limited by whatever that devil voice is telling you. The advice from your inner wisdom, Virgo, for February 2024 is the compassionate Queen of Cups. And she's really telling you that whatever this devil messaging is playing out on is definitely going to be tied to your feelings, your emotions. The Queen of Cups is the wonderful card in the tarot that shows the most elaborately decorated chalice in the whole deck. Her chalice is decorated with angels. So there we see that angel, and you can kind of see that she's really focused intently on the chalice in front of her. She's listening to her better angels. And what the Queen of Cups understands is that realm of feelings, emotions, that there really is no wasted thing that you're going through, that there really isn't something futile going on in your life, but that instead you're really looking at life as having an important lesson, not just the joyous times when everything goes your way and you're happy, but also the painful times when life has taught you an important lesson, and failures too, and the courage that it takes to even attempt to do those things. This is what the Queen of Cups really honors. And so I feel, Virgo, for you to move forward this next month, you have to honor your feelings. And you really do have this decision to make. Am I going to listen to my better angels on the chalice? Or am I going to listen to that shadow voice that's telling me I'm dirt and I can't do anything? And I feel like whatever voice you're listening to or feeding will get stronger. And so it's so important that you're mindful of where your emotions are leading your thoughts this next month. And I do hope you're enjoying these videos. If you do, hit the thumbs up button. It really does help my channel grow and expand. And what also helps it is a little message. I really do read these with great interest. Also, if you find this video useful, maybe a friend would too. So please share the video with other people that you think might like it. And with that, let us go on into our Tarotscopes for February 2024. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Libra. So if you're a Libra or have a lot of Libra in your chart, this first card is going to be where it's best for you to place your focus for February 2024. And we get the Sun. Now, the Sun has often been called the best card in the deck. And what it does remind us is that a new day can always dawn. We can always start over. Just like the sun rising every new day we have a chance to be better or to go toward what brings us our bliss. We see that little sun baby riding his horse, and he's open. His arms are outstretched. He's saying, yeah, whatever you got for me, give it to me. I'm excited about this. So the sun can absolutely indicate that there's positive news going on for you this next month, Libra. And instead of being afraid of it, like, oh, well, this great thing is going on, so how can I find a way to really be worried about it, and how will it actually go really bad? The sun is telling you to own it, to enjoy what's coming your way. And also, it might be a time to really look at your life through the eyes of a child, through the wonder eyes of a child, sort of like it's new. There's something new on the horizon for you, Libra. And it's important that you're just open to it. And those sunflowers on the sun card can really represent that it's time to turn your face toward the light. You may have come out of a shadowy time, or it might be a time that was really confusing. But whenever the sun appears, it really does uplift the energy. And any card the sun comes up next to, it amplifies the positive effects of really great, joyful cards. It also kind of negates some of the negative connotations for some of the more challenging cards in the tarot. So the next card is going to be advice from your inner wisdom for this next month of February, Libra. And we get the Six of Swords reversed. Now, for me, the Six of Swords upright represents progress, movement. When it comes up reversed, it can represent that it's time to get that thing in your life that's been stuck unstuck. And the thing that's going to help you get that thing unstuck is the energy of that sun card. It's by focusing on what's hopeful, what's blissful, what can you get excited about again. I also feel like that time of stagnancy is about to come to an end. And the advice from your inner wisdom is to not fight the current. The river of your life is flowing in a certain direction, and all you need to do is give up yourself to it. Allow yourself to go with the flow. It's going to take you away from the rough waters and toward the smooth waters. New lands await and new wonders are happening for you. So it's so important that you're following your hope this next month. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Scorpio. So if you're a Scorpio or have a lot of Scorpio in your chart, this first card is going to be where it's best for you to place your focus in February. And then we got the sensitive Page of Cups. The Page of Cups for me is the inner child of the tarot. He really does represent that playful aspect of you, the part of you that colors outside of the lines, the part of you that's a little impish and mischievous and humorous. The Page of Cups is also the sensitive artist of the tarot. You got that little fish whispering into his ear, telling him where all the sunken treasure is hidden under the ocean. And, cups and that water, the body of water behind him, that can represent our unconscious, our feelings, our deeper self. This might be a time, Scorpio, that could be really healing for you by connecting with that element of water and really just kind of delving into what brings you joy. You might have been very serious leading up to this moment. There might have been just a lot on your shoulders. And that Page of Cups is asking you to play. It's time to enjoy your life. It's time to get inventive again with it. And it's time to release perfectionism and worry and stress whenever the Page of Cups appears. The advice from your inner wisdom, if you're a Scorpio for this next month, is the Knight of Swords. And here we see an opposite sort of energy going on at the same time. And as human beings, sometimes there's two things going on in our head that are in conflict with one another, and they both are true. They both make sense. You are being asked this next month, yes, to play, yes, to open yourself to freedom. But there's also this driven energy going on with this Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords is racing ahead on his horse, and he's thrashing it with the sword, and he's yelling, go, go, go. And the horse is looking up at him like, I can't possibly go any faster. I'm just going to drop. And what the knight can represent is the cruel taskmaster within your own head. Those thoughts that are really telling you to go for your goal and that are really kind of driving you on, even when your body is saying, I'm tired. I need a break. The horse can represent your physical body. It can represent the part of you that maybe needs to slow down a little bit more or to take your time. The horse can also just represent that things are wearing you out right now. And so it's time to slow down. I kind of feel like this intensity of the Knight of Swords, his desire to prove himself as this capable adult who can handle everything all at once. He's trying to be the superhero. That needs to be tempered against a release from some of these responsibilities. And so I feel like taking a break, taking a step back, really listening to your heart and your own inner sensitivity is going to be so important for this next month of February. And it's also just important that you're really also listening to your creativity and expressing your emotions through that as well. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Sagittarius. So if you're a Sagittarius or have a lot of Sagittarius in your chart, this first card is going to be where it's best for you to place your focus for February. And we got the Three of Pentacles, which is often called, at least by me, the school card in the tarot. The Three of Pentacles represents education, learning, and also opportunities for learning that are coming your way. Sometimes this card can literally represent school, but sometimes this card can also just represent an important life lesson that you need to learn at this time. The Three of Pentacles also shows people collaborating on the card. The craftsman who's designing the cathedral is consulting with the two monks. And one of those monks has a set of plans drawn up. And if you look super closely at the set of plans on the card, you can actually see that it's the thing that the craftsman is building. What this could indicate for you, Sagittarius, is that it's time to draw up a plan. Draw up a plan for what you're perfecting in your life and what you're wanting to learn about. This could also be a time where you're starting to see your plans materialize. And I just kind of feel like there's even better news coming for you in that month of March, just intuitively from that three popping out at me. And so this is going to be a time to open yourself to learning new things and to really step into this next month as the student, as the person who's ready to learn. And that involves being teachable and also conferring with or consulting with advisors, people who are wise, people who might be able to guide your path best this next month. The next card for Sagittarius is going to be advice from your inner wisdom this next month. And we got the Nine of Wands. And here we see the guy in the Nine of Wands. He's got a bandage on his head. He's been bumped and beat up and bruised by life. And yet he's scrappy. He's still standing. He's resilient. And what this can indicate for you, Sagittarius, is that you've gone through the ringer. You've really had everything thrown at you. And your wounds are still healing. However, with the wands that this figure has gained on the card, he's built a fence for himself. And what that fence can really symbolize for you, Sagittarius, is boundaries. And so whatever might have caused pain in the past, whatever was kind of beating you up in life, this might be a time when you're really setting up some mindful boundaries to keep those things out, to keep that away for now. This is going to be a time for you to focus on you. This is also a card that tells you that you're more resilient than sometimes you might believe. And even if you've gone through pain or struggle or hardships, you are ready for this next moment. And so you need to stand strong and stand up for what makes you excellent, because you didn't buckle before, and I don't see it happening later. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Capricorn. So if you're a Capricorn or have a lot of Capricorn in your chart, this first card is where it's best for you to place your focus for February. And we got the Ten of Swords, which is often a difficult card for anybody to look at. You know, we see Ten of Swords and we see this body laying there with the swords in the back and we think, oh no, this is going to be terrible. And yet this is the tarot doing it again. It's using symbolism to make us pay attention to something that's very important. The Ten of Swords governs rites of passages or endings that you didn't necessarily choose or even want, and yet here they are. You're just dealing with it. It's on your plate. And when I looked at this card and was writing about it, I thought, well, what's going on in this card? Almost as if I was looking at a crime scene. Well, this figure's left here, and there's all these swords in his back. And what that can represent for me is that the challenges, the swords, and, you know, if you remember, swords are the element of air. They have to do with our thoughts. These are things that the figure on the card was avoiding. He was turning his back to those swords, and yet they all caught up with him. Inevitably, they always do. And so what the Ten of Swords can really be telling you, Capricorn, that it's time to stop staying 10 steps ahead of the thing you're afraid of, but instead to turn around, to confront it honestly. even if it's a rite of passage, an ending, something difficult that you'd rather turn your eyes away from, just like your desire to turn your eyes away from this card, it might be a time to deal with it head on, because you have a better chance for survival and empowerment by facing the challenge and not turning your back to it. Ten of Swords can also just indicate that whatever's ended, whatever has already finished, whatever is history, needs to stay history. It's time to just leave that and move on. The advice from your inner wisdom, if you're a Capricorn for this next month, is the Fool card. And here we have that hopeful message after that Ten of Swords. Even on that Ten of Swords, the black clouds are breaking up and the light is starting to peek through. In the case of the Fool card, this is the card of new beginnings. The Fool is numbered 0, meaning that things are open to him now. He's not attached to any other card. He's sort of an outlier in the tarot. He's able to journey through all the hills and valleys that the tarot provides, and yet he comes out unscathed. And so too for you, I feel like it's time to pick up, pack your bags, and move on. The Fool can call you to travel or to pull yourself out of what's familiar or whatever rut you were stuck in up until now. But that sun behind the Fool shining on him is really telling you that the sun is going to rise again for you. However, you need to be open to the new thing. And even if that means that you're opening yourself to those life moments where you feel like a fool, you feel like you don't know everything, you're afraid of looking like a fool, it's time to just throw yourself into that thing. That's what's really going to lead to your breakthrough. And by letting the past be the past with that Ten of Swords and jumping into the unknown wonders of the future, you're going to really set yourself up for success. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Aquarius. So if you're an Aquarius or have a lot of Aquarius in your chart, this first card is going to be where it's best for you to place your focus for February. And happy birthday, by the way, for the February Aquariuses. The first card we got is the Knight of Pentacles. And of all the knights in the tarot, I like to say the Knight of Pentacles is the only knight who's on that horse that isn't moving forward at this time. It's at a standstill. It's waiting. Sometimes that Knight of Pentacles can indicate a frustration with something that feels stagnant, like it's just not growing fast enough. The Knight of Pentacles wants to become the king, but in order to do that, he's got to get those fields to grow. And just now, those fields are brown. Sometimes the Knight of Pentacles represents an unfulfilled expectation because you're looking at your life through the prism of what it appears as right now, and you're forgetting its future possibility. Because even though those fields do appear brown and the Knight of Pentacles might be disappointed, there is growth happening beneath the surface. And all of this is to serve an important purpose. The Knight of Pentacles, his helmet, his horse, they're decorated with oak leaves. And oak is the tree of wisdom. And wisdom is only gained through experience. And so whatever it is that you're plodding through right now, Aquarius, whatever it is that feels frustrating or it's not quite living up to your expectations, it's being a teacher to you. It's giving you great wisdom. And only hindsight will reveal exactly why something's taking just a little longer to manifest than maybe you would rather it be. Next is going to be advice from your inner wisdom this next month, and we get the Lovers card. Now, coupling with that Knight of Pentacles card, sometimes the Lovers can really say it's important that you are managing your expectations when it comes to your relationships with other people. This might be a time when maybe you're not the frustrated one or you're not the stuck one, but someone that you really care about is kind of the stuck one or the frustrated one. The Lovers card can really say that harmony is going to come through working with others and by understanding them. Using the eyes of the wise angel, which is a symbol for your higher self, when interacting with other people, is really going to create harmony for you. The Lovers is also a card of choices, so this might be a time where there is a crossroads in front of you. And you might have to ask yourself, how do I best get that field to grow? This might be a time to really go to that point in the crossroads and choose the different path. But I also feel with the Lovers card that this card really does symbolize a need to create balance and harmony within yourself first, before you start to see the results in that mundane material pentacles earth element world. And so the Lovers, it shows the three figures, which can be three aspects of you. We got the man on the card who can be your worldly self, the rational mind. And he's looking to the female on the card, which can represent your emotions, your inner truth, your feelings. And yet she's not complete just being in her feelings either. She's looking up to the angel, which can represent your higher self. And so this card can often ask you to identify what part of your life is neglected. Are you not being practical enough? Are you not being logical and reasonable? Are you not looking at things with common sense? Or are you not listening to your heart? Or even conversely, are you in your heart too much? Are you feeling your feelings too much? Something a lot of Aquariuses usually aren't accused of being, but it is possible. And then also, with that spirit of the angel, are you listening to your spirit? Are you following its direction and its lead? And are you also looking at yourself with the non-judgmental eyes of the angel? This might be a time to bring peace into yourself so that you can bring peace into the world and start to see those expectations realized. And finally, last but certainly not least, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Pisces. So if you're a Pisces or have a lot of Pisces in your chart, this first card is going to be where it's best for you to place your focus for February. And the first card we get here is the King of Cups. And the King of Cups, for me, can really represent that this is going to be a time for you to stay stable amidst a lot of wavy emotional waters this next month. The King of Cups is on that stone platform, and the waves are crashing against it. And he almost has a toe in the water, but he certainly isn't swept out to sea. Water in the tarot, it represents our emotions, our feelings. There might be powerful feelings going on around you, Pisces, that you really feel tempted to get swept up into. And yet there is this sense of needing to be anchored right now. And so we got that symbol of the ship in the background that's anchored. That can be a symbol that's saying it's time to stay above the waves. It's time to be anchored with them. But then there's also the whale behind the King of Cups. And that whale can really symbolize that you're needing to trust your wisdom, your history, and to really approach an emotional situation with the wisdom of the past. That's really going to help you make the best decision. So no matter how you're feeling or what you want to feel right now, this card really says that it's important to be mature and to govern those emotions with wisdom. The next card is going to be advice from your inner wisdom this next month of February, and we get the Four of Pentacles. And this is a card for me of attachment. It shows a miser. He's clutching these 4 coins and he's thinking, I really need to hang on to these 4 coins because if I don't hang on to them, I'm not going to be secure. And then what's going to happen to me? And then even behind him on the card, there's all these towers, reminiscent of the Tower card, which can represent a separation from what's really going on. The coins the miser is clutching have actually become barriers. The one at his head is blocking him from hearing his spirit. The one at his heart is blocking him from feeling his real feelings. And the ones beneath his feet are blocking him from being grounded in reality or connecting with the earth and nature, his nature. And so the Four of Pentacles can really ask you, what is it that you're hanging on to so tightly, expecting security, that's actually making you miserable? That's actually blocking you off from the thing that you really most need right now. This might be a time to face some really triggering, difficult, heavy emotions with wisdom and to really allow yourself to release whatever you've been hanging on to that's become burdensome. And that was this month's Tarotscope for every astrological sign for February. And I just want to take a moment to thank all of you so much for watching and also for helping my channel grow so much in the past months. I've had so much fun just making videos and talking about tarot, which is just one of my greatest passions. And I really do enjoy reading all of your comments. And if you want to see the channel grow even more, again, please do like, share, subscribe, and let your friends know about it, because I really think that this is going to be a wonderful community for us to create some better tarot content in the future. I'm also hoping to start hosting some interviews and having some of the people in the tarot world consult with us about the cards and their perspectives about it, because we don't want to just get stuck with just one voice, one perspective all the time. I do hope that you have a wonderful month of February with whatever you're doing in it. And I also hope that you're all safe, happy, healthy, and well. If you want to catch up with me, you can go to elliotoracle.com and you can schedule a one-on-one tarot reading with me there. I also have signed copies of my best-selling book, Fearless Tarot, and Tarot in Love, Consulting the Cards and Matters of the Heart, available there as well. I also got gift certificates and other gifts, so if you're looking for tarot goodies, head on over there. There's also a ton of free content on card meanings and all that jazz. Otherwise, I hope you all have a great month, and I will see you again next time, so do take care.